Hi, everybody. I hope you're here to learn more about data governance and its dependencies on the data architecture types. In this short video, I'll discuss the challenges associated with defining the concept of data governance. Unfortunately, within the data management community, we have pretty different opinions about the role and content of this data management capability. The Orange Data Management Framework I use in my practice summarizes the best practice based approach I share in this video. After watching this video, you'll form your own opinion about data governance and how you can align this concept within your organization. This video is part of a free webinar I conducted in October 2023. At the end of this video, you'll find the link to the recording of the whole webinar. I'd like to share with you my viewpoint that we have several challenges associated with the definition of data governance. First of all, leading industry guidelines do not agree on the definition of data governance. Then some authorities in the data management community have different viewpoints on data governance. Two terms, data governance and management, have been used interchangeably. And the data governance IT solutions providers have also mixed up these two terms. So let's take a look at each of these challenges. Let's proceed with the first one. In the original context of the Demo I hope everybody knows Demo data governance is one of the data management capabilities. This capability directs and controls the establishment of data management. However, data governance remains a part of data management. Data governance is accountable for setting up a data management by data management organization by developing an organizational structure, policies, processes, and roles. All I described on the left side of the slide, or at least it's my left side, and these are data governance deliverables in the context of Demo. Looking at the slide's right side, you can see the Gartner interpretation of data governance. I don't want to comment on it, as I'm afraid I have to disagree with this interpretation of data governance, but it simply confirms my previous statements that we don't have an aligned definition of data management and governance in our community. I'd like to prove my point using data lineage as an example. Data lineage is an artifact of multiple data management capabilities like data modeling, data and application architecture, business process management, metadata management. So for me, putting data lineage as a product of data governance demonstrates the substitution of data management by data governance. The second challenge is that we started using the term data management and governance interchangeably within the data management community. I searched for the linguistic definitions of two words, governance or govern and management or manage. You can see that the word govern is associated with words like direct, regulate, oversee controls, and direction. So you can conclude that governance means providing directions and controlling. Then I did the same with the words manage and management. These words are associated with organizing, achieving a purpose, administration, and so on. So you get an impression that data management is more about the organization and performing actions to achieve goals, and governance is more about the controlling. But then I asked myself a simple question: are these two words synonymous? Honestly, I was amazed. For many years, I believed they were not. Even if in the series of articles about the data governance and management I published several years ago, I stated it. So you can imagine my surprise when two dictionaries confirmed that governance and management are synonymous. It's a very challenging discovery as we get used to separating these two terms in the data world. Even so, the definition of these two terms in the data context are ambiguous. At the moment of this discovery, I had to change some of my beliefs, and I had to rethink the context of this webinar and some approaches to designing a data management framework I use in my practices. Now I want to illustrate the third challenge. My apologies, I see that somebody wrote something. I will answer the question later. Now I want to illustrate the third challenge. Data management and data governance tools have similar functionalities. This year, I analyzed 168 different data management, data governance, metadata management, and data lineage tools. You can find the series of articles on my site, datacrossroads.nl. This slide compares the functionalities of two types of IT tools, data management and data governance. You can see that these two types of tools have similar functionalities. They offer enterprise architecture, data quality, master and reference data, security, and so on. So if you know the Demo book viewpoint on data management, you will agree that data quality, master and reference data management, and security are separate data management capabilities or knowledge areas. This slide, the next slide, give me a second. The next slide demonstrates that so-called data management and governance solutions offer metadata management and data lifecycle related functionality. So again, data management and governance are mixed. I think I proved my initial statement, data governance is unaligned with the data management community. Let's discuss the last challenge, and then I will share my understanding of data governance. In data management, we have two leading industry guidelines. DEMA-DEMBOK, the data management body of knowledge by the DAMA International, and DECOM, the data management capability assessment model by the Enterprise Data Management Council. Several years ago, I investigated the differences between these two guides, and it was not an easy task, but again, if you're interested, you can find the results of my investigation at my site. And it's not such an easy task to compare them because DEMA is an open society. You can purchase DEMA-DEMBOK book and you are there. With DECOM, it's much more complicated. They're a closed society. You can get information about their methodology only by being a member. Earlier, some materials were still open for public, but just now I couldn't find any open materials. However, they published a glossary. So even if several years ago they had differences in defining data management and data governance, nowadays I found out that they, especially DECOM, came very close to the definition of DAMA-DEMBOK regarding the data governance. So what is very important here, I wouldn't like to go deeper. It's part of our webinar, another webinar, but you should take a look, please, at the definition of data governance by DEMA. Data governance is the exercise of authority, control, and shared decision over the management of data, not data itself. Yeah. So this is important point. Data governance governs not data, it governs data management. And somehow we simply lost this meaning. So for me, the term data governance, in fact, has no sense by itself. I don't know your feelings about this definition, but this is my viewpoint. Using this slide, this little bit funny slide, I try to demonstrate my interpretation of the definitions of data management and data governance by our guidelines. After this webinar, you can solve this puzzle yourself. So let's start. We have data assets and their data lifecycle. So let's agree that data management, the core subject of data management is data assets and their lifecycle. Data management says, I decide how and when to deliver, control, protect, and enhance data. And data governance says, great, but I decide how you can decide, and then I will control how you do it. So it's my perception of these definitions, and maybe just now it's my time to share my approach to defining data governance. Let's start with the simple fact. Every company has data. Therefore, every company manages data in one way or another. If a company hasn't set up data management as a business function, it still manages data in the ad hoc format. To set up data management function, you must develop and implement a framework. In my understanding, data management framework is a set of models and methods that shape data management into a business function. The data management framework consists of models and methods to scope, design, implement, and measure the maturity and performance of a data management function. The well-known data management frameworks, as I said already, it's DEMA, Book, DECAM, TOGAF. I use it also very often. So in my practice, I use the Orange Data Management Framework, which is practice-based, ready-for-use methodology. The chosen data management framework must assist in developing a data management organization. This organization includes an operating structure or model, an organizational structure, a set of functional and virtual data stewards roles, and related governing processes. So these two components, data management framework and organization, lead to establishing a formal business function for data management. And data governance assist in designing, is accountable for design and control of the implementation and performance of data management framework and data management function, not data itself. Data governance, again, is accountable for designing and controlling the implementation of a data management framework, organization, and function. This is my viewpoint. So this slide simply shares the definition of data governance I use in my practices, which I just now shared with you.
If you want to watch the full webinar, please follow the link presented on the slide. I placed this webinar at the Data Crossroads Online Academy. I am looking forward to seeing you at my future online events. Thank you for watching this video and let's connect on LinkedIn.